Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Thursday, 11th September 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. U.S. ramps up military presence in the Caribbean Sea, and China sent Naval Hospital ship Silk Road Ark to Latin America. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. China has sent its Naval Hospital ship Silk Road Ark to the South Pacific and Latin America under Mission Harmony 2025, marking its first overseas deployment since commissioning. The move comes as Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro strengthens ties with Beijing. But the backdrop is tense. The U.S. has ramped up military operations in the Caribbean after a strike on a suspected Venezuelan drug vessel killed 11. Trump has deployed warships, a nuclear submarine and stealth fighters, while Venezuela has boosted troop members. As President Xi Jinping, Maduro and Trump circle the region, tensions escalate.
China has sent a naval ship to the South Pacific and Latin America, a region known as America's doorstep. According to China's Ministry of National Defense, the military deployed the hospital ship Silk Road Ark on a mission codenamed Harmony 2025. China says the ship, which was commissioned in 2024, will carry out medical services and cultural exchange activities, part of China's efforts to strengthen ties with countries in the region and advance the concept of a shared maritime and global community. Now, the outreach comes amid heightening tensions between Washington and Caracas. Moreover, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has been deepening ties with Beijing economically, technically, and over AI. In fact, in a symbolic gesture, the Venezuelan leader showcased a Huawei phone gifted by Chinese President Xi Jinping, stating that it cannot be hacked by U.S. intelligence.
Impressive. I find out everything through this. The phone that Xi Jinping gave me. Look, Xi Jinping gave me this. A Huawei, the best phone in the world. And the Americans can't hack it. Neither their spy planes nor their satellites.
Impresionante. Ahí me llega todo por aquí.
Now, tensions in the Caribbean have escalated sharply in recent weeks. And last week, a U.S. military strike sank a vessel in the Caribbean reportedly belonging to the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, killing 11 people. Washington described the vessel as transporting massive amounts of drugs, while President Trump hailed the action as a warning to traffickers. In response to the U.S., Venezuela has mobilized its forces, with the defense minister declaring that Venezuela remains vigilant as the U.S. scales up its military presence.
All the deployment of destroyers targeting Venezuela, the use of drones, the use of helicopters on the decks of ships, we are observing all this here from Venezuela. We are observing it because we are people who are vigilant, alert, not frightened, not afraid. But we are on constant alert, watching for any situation that could affect our physical security and threaten our sovereignty.
Now, in response, President Maduro has ordered a sharp increase in troops along the key coastal states. About 10,000 troops have already been deployed to regions bordering Colombia. with an additional 25,000 troops being sent to other major drug trafficking routes. The U.S., meanwhile, has reinforced its presence with over 4,000 Marines and sailors, 7 warships, a nuclear-powered submarine, reconnaissance jets, and an additional 10 F-35 stealth fighters deployed to Puerto Rico. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth told sailors and Marines on a warship off Puerto Rico that they were not deployed to the Caribbean for training, but instead sent to the front lines of a critical counter-narcotics mission. Amid the standoff, China has voiced opposition to U.S. intervention, emphasizing that it opposes the use or threat of force in international relations and foreign interference in Venezuela. So as the Caribbean becomes a hotspot for military and diplomatic maneuvering, all eyes remain on the deepening relationship between Xi's China and Venezuela's Maduro.
In other news, a former APNU candidate urges leadership change, calls for GCOM chair's resignation. Tiana Cole of HGP Nightly News has more.
With the Ghana Elections Commission, GCOM confirming that the People's Progressive Party Civic secured 36 seats in the 65-member National Assembly, and President Irfan Ali elected to serve for a second term. Former A Partnership for National Unity APNU candidate and former Mayor Yubraj Narain stated that his party did not expect this outcome.
I believe new leadership needed for the party, and I believe that young people must be placed in front while the seniors must be placed behind to advise the young people like myself and to give us guidance.
Narain further added that he believes the party has lost touch with its supporters. He also alleged that the Ghana Elections Commission GCOM chair was compromised during both the 2020 and 2025 elections.
I believe she should resign, and I'm calling publicly for her resignation. She is complacent with the laws of this country and the laws that govern GCOM, because I believe that she knows fully that there was a bloated and padded list.
The former mayor stressed that the party must rebuild from the grassroots level and reconnect with the people. He further argued that if all the smaller parties had come together under one umbrella, they could have defeated the PPPC government at the 2025 elections.
When you have leaders with ego and pride and who can't come down to the people and what the people want, this is what the result we get.
According to the official results, the PPPC secured 36 seats in the 65-member National Assembly. Meanwhile, the We Invest the Nation Would Win party gained 16 seats as the main parliamentary opposition, while a Partnership for National Unity, APNU, secured 12 seats. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Still on Guyana, a government accused of rampant corruption now looks to stamp out corruption from within the ruling PPPC in the aftermath of its re-election. Travis Chase of HGP Nightly News reports.
President Irfan Ali, while delivering an address following his swearing-in at State House on Sunday, now says a special unit will be established.
That is why we will strengthen our anti-corruption efforts by establishing a dedicated anti-corruption unit, thus with excising the cancer from our institutions and holding public and private officials to the highest standards of integrity.
In 2025, Transparency International, the global anti-corruption watchdog, gave Guyana a score of 39 in its Perception Index corruption in the public sector. The Germany headquartered organization explained that the country's score is the perceived level of public sector corruption on a scale of 0 to 100, where 0 means highly corrupt and 100 means very clean. Is the president now hinting at a lifestyle audit for public officials?
Every official will be required to account for their personal assets, and any who cannot do so will face the full force of the law.
Also, the U.S. State Department, in its annual International Drug Control Strategy report, noted that money laundering continues to pose significant challenges to Guyana and is affecting the nation's economy and governance. The U.S. noted that money laundering in Guyana has grown into a systemic issue involving both public officials and private citizens and is often linked to corruption and organized crime. President Ali says his government will now leave no room for impunity.
We'll pursue both the corrupted and the corruptors, leaving no room for impunity.
Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Trinidad and Tobago's police commissioner warns parents as police officers deployed to high-risk schools. Radica Da Silva shares more in this CNC3 News item.
If the parents cannot control their children, the TTPS will confine them. It's not far off in that we now have police officers in schools ready to respond to those immediate threats to our children who seek to have that higher educational learning. So it's just a further warning to the parents out there, keep your children in check.
During a tour on Monday, teachers, students, and parents expressed hope that brutal classroom brawls, gang recruitment, weapons, and drug use will finally end.
We know that there's violence. The best people that will be able to deal with it would be the police at this point in time. And I hope with the level of love and attention that will be given for the officers who are trained to deal with students at the schools. Yeah, so I believe that with that happening, we're supposed to be able to strike a balance to help curb some of the violence in the school.
School officials showed the commissioner the hotspot areas on the compound.
You see this little area in the back, if you want to call it, there's identified hotspots. Yeah, so they will come in the back here and light up their little cigarettes on what have you. Yeah, that's what I say.
The Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association and the National Parent Teacher Association both opposed the presence of armed guards, but Commissioner Guevara had this response.
The reassurance is, put yourself in a position where your child is attending a school and you get that phone call, come by the hospital. Your child has a broken collarbone, ribs, a broken arm, lacerations. And this is something that is real and has happened in the past. So put yourself in the position of those parents who now have to go and nurse their children back to health from a hospital ward. And think if you wouldn't want police officer in your school.
A school safety officer who did not want to speak on camera told CNC3 News that fights were so frequent at one school that daily weapon checks were required, with 13 penknives seized on one occasion.
The indiscipline was at its highest. Explain, like what was so? Fights, the infiltration of gangs, inside and outside. And when these fights starts, nobody could cross the highway because can't cross the highway. It was very disturbing.
NPTA President Walter Stewart told the CNC3 News they are doing a survey of developments at the nation's schools. Officers have been assigned to 50 high-risk schools, and the Minister of Education, Dr. Michael Dowlath, says they will stay out of the classroom unless needed. A review of the program will take place in March. Radica Da Silva, CNC3 News.
In the meantime, Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander sounded the alarm to the executive of the police service as he beckoned them to unite behind the current Commissioner of Police. TTT's Sunil Lala has more.
If there are persons sitting there who thinks for one reason or another that they're no longer willing to serve, a piece of paper with your name on it, that you would have come to an end of your service, that you no longer want to serve and have someone replace you. It's as simple as that. You cannot go forward in an institution where you are fighting each other.
This warning came from Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander to the executive of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Speaking during a TTPS passing out ceremony, Minister Alexander intentionally turned to address officials of the TTPS executive, warning that internal division within the service is undermining national security.
But the members of the public on the outside seen it. The criminal element has seen it. And that is why sometimes they walk without you noticing them, because you are thinking about other things and they are passing right before you with your AR-15. The time has come. Either you bond together or please allow us, by any lawful means necessary, to separate you from the pack.
The minister urged the executive to rally behind Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara, who he said has been going the extra mile.
If you have a commissioner of police willing to support you, support. The race has already gone. There's no application for commissioner of police, so there's no reason to feel hurt that you did not get through the job. Just do the job, or get out and let somebody else do the job.
Minister Alexander further explained his rationale behind his statement. Minister, what prompted you to say what you said this afternoon?
The love for country. It's all about the love for country. You see, and today we had so much of young men and women willing to serve. It's just love for country and the love for service.
Ending his speech, he had one last warning.
If you know that you have reached the stage where you're no longer supportive of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and your members, do like what I'm about to do right now and walk away.
Sonolala, TTT News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.